In the past, when transplanting seedlings, I've always just ripped the two seedlings apart and popped them into their transplant holes. But all off season, I've been wondering, is that potentially harming them because that's a fairly traumatic experience to be going through? Or could that ripping of the roots actually be a little bit beneficial as it's forcing the plant to grow back stronger? Well, that's a question I wanted to get to the bottom of. So 30 days ago, I took 6 tomato plants and 6 pepper plants and simulated 3 different transplanting methods to see what impact it has on growth. For environment number 1, I wanted to disturb the seedlings as little as possible. So for these, I simply popped them out of the original seed cell that they were in and potted them up into larger seed cells to simulate that transplanting process. Then I thinned out any additional plants that were growing in the seed cell. This ensured that I disturbed the roots as little as possible, and this will serve as our thinned out environment. For environment 2, I wanted to simulate that ripping process that I've used in the past. So now, once I popped them out of the seed cells, I ripped each plant apart and then potted them up into their own larger seed cells. And for context, I'm doing all of this indoors as it's too cold still for us to be doing it outside, but I want the learnings before I actually transplant my seedlings for the season. And for environment 3, I wanted to really over-exaggerate this. So not only did I rip the seedlings to separate them, but then I even took scissors and removed nearly all of the root matter. I'm calling this the mega ripped environment. These plants are basically on life support, and I suspect they'll really fall behind the other 2 environments if they even survive. After that, I gave them a big drink of water and popped them under my VivoSun grow lights to begin settling into their new environments. And for this experiment, my prediction is that the seedlings that I ripped, the second environment, I actually think that those ones are going to perform best. For some reason, I've got no idea why, I just think that by having a little bit of stress in there and forcing the plant to grow back even stronger is going to ultimately end up helping the plant out. But there's only one way to find out. Let's fast forward for our first update. So it's now 30 days since I kicked this experiment off, and we got some super interesting results to take a look at that are gonna help us for this upcoming season. So in this update, we're gonna look at what the growth has been on each of the different environments. And then to wrap up the video, what I'm actually going to do is dig each of them up so that we can take a look at the root development over the last 30 days. So to get started, environment number 1, these are the thinned broccoli seedlings. Now environment number 2, these are the ripped broccoli seedlings. And now remember, environment number 3 are the mega ripped seedlings that I didn't know if they'd even survive. Let's take a look. Environment number 3, here are our mega ripped seedlings. So first thing that stands out to me is that these are fairly even across the board. So environment number 1, they look really good, healthy, and happy, just as you would expect. For environment number 2, they're also looking super happy and healthy, definitely not at all behind environment number 1. And then environment number 3 has not only survived, but really put on tons of growth over the last 30 days. So I'm really surprised to see just how resilient they have been. And I'm really curious to take a look at the roots in just a second. But before we do that, let's also take a look at how the tomatoes have grown. So first up, we have environment number 1. These are the thinned tomatoes. Now environment number 2, these are the ripped tomatoes. And once again, lastly, environment number 3, take a look at this. These are our mega ripped tomatoes. So 2 quick observations across the board on these ones. First off, this seed cell is a little bit too small for them at this point in their journey. It's part of what's holding them back. And secondly, there's some yellowing on the leaves. And this isn't because of nutrition, it's because they got a little bit too close to the grow lights that are quite strong and powerful, and those caused a little bit of damage. But once I moved them, as you can see, all the new growth coming out the top is really nice, green, and lush. Now going from one environment to the next, honestly, the ones that I thinned out are probably doing the worst. They're really struggling for some reason here, which is interesting to see more than anything. In environment number 2, one of them is doing really well, but the other one just really struggled from the moment that I transplanted it into that environment. So that was interesting to observe as well. And then for environment number 3, the ones that were mega ripped, honestly, both of them are absolutely thriving. And so before we get to digging them up, the big takeaway for me is that I'm going to continue transplanting the way that I have, where I'm separating them at the point of transplanting and doing a bit of that ripping motion, because what I'm seeing is that it's definitely not causing any harm in the tomato or the broccoli environment. Now, the last part of this experiment, I want to actually dig each and every environment up so that we can see what the root development has looked like over the last 30 days. And since I have the tomatoes up right here, let's get started with environment number 1, the thinned out seedlings. Thank you for your service. All right, I can see definitely nice development in there. Asking for a bigger home, that's for sure. And the other one from the thinned environment here. Yeah, I mean, bigger plant and obviously more root development as a result of that. That's looking nice. Now on to environment number 2. Again, this one didn't do well, but again, I think that's just unique to it. And as we can see, basically no root development on this one whatsoever. Super interesting. All right, let's pop that one to the side. Whoa, and it's, yeah, look at that, literally falling apart in my hand. But again, I do think a lot of that is because for whatever reason, this one just didn't grow well. And then the second one from environment number 2 that was ripped. I'm really curious to see what the root development on this one looks like. Wow, holy, look at that. Way more than either of the number 1 environments that were just thinned out. That is incredible. I'm gonna slide this one in front just because the other one kind of fell apart there. That was super interesting, and because of it, I'm even more intrigued to see what happens on environment number 3 because A, the roots were completely decimated, but B, they've grown bigger than environment 1 or 2. So I'm really curious to see what the roots are gonna look like on these ones. Let's get started with this one here. All right, moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Holy cow. I mean, that's like identical or more than environment number 2 here. And again, I ripped that thing to complete shreds. Now I'm guessing that the second one is going to be very similar to that. Let's take a look. Yep, look at that. As mentioned earlier, these babies needed to get potted up earlier, but that is tons of beautiful root development, that's for sure. So it's super interesting that the 2 environments where I really disturbed the roots have put on way more development beneath the surface than the environment where I did not disturb the roots whatsoever. Now to wrap up the video, let's do the same thing with the broccoli. First up, environment 1, the thinned environment. Let's take a look here, see how these ones did. I mean, that's a lot of really beautiful root development right there. Let's do the second one from environment number 1. Take a peek at that. Again, also really beautiful root development. As mentioned with the tomatoes, and we're seeing with these as well, clearly need to be in a bigger pot at this point in time. Good little learning takeaway for me on that front. Now let's start getting into the ones that I disturbed the roots on with environment number 2, the ripped seedlings. Now again, this is exactly how I transplant all of my seedlings. Let's see how it's looking. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see. And again, I'd say that these ones pretty similar to environment number 1 here. Let's take a look at the second one. I'm guessing it'll be also very similar there. Sure enough, yep. Really happy. And of course, last but not least, environment number 3. These are the mega ripped seedlings. So there is basically no root matter on these whatsoever. Let's see how they're looking now. And I'd say, again, very similar now. I'm just gonna rip that one leaf off to environment 2 and environment 1. Let's take a look at the last one here. Wow, I mean, come on. That is stunning. So there you have it. Again, I always encourage you to go with whatever feels best and most comfortable for you. For myself, I know what I'll be doing moving forward is putting a bigger emphasis on potting my seedlings up into larger seed cells. And when I do so, I'll always be putting 2 into those larger seed cells. And at the point of transplanting, I'll rip them to separate them and plant them into their unique cells because the roots are growing so well when I do that. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this experiment video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming experiments that I'm going to be launching because I've got tons on the go right now. And in the meantime, you might enjoy this video right here.